inviting the team, Dynamo, to come up on the stage and give us their presentation. So let's welcome Team Dynamo, putting your hands together.
That is gained, the feeling of satisfaction that you obtain comes through the overcoming of these obstacles. So, today we are going to talk about a topic that is related to these obstacles. We're going to talk about an obstacle so great that is hindering the textile industry of this country. Assalamu alaikum everyone. We are Team Dynamo and I am Mohammad Faimul Islam Rafsan.
I am Rafidias Khan. I am Ashari Rabir and I am Mohammad. Okay, so coming to the situation analysis. Currently, Paradise Fashions Limited has been seeing a rise in the migration and job switching for their workers, and for this reason, there are many technical and skilled labor who are switching their jobs, right? And due to this, the management is having a very tough time to replace those vacant spots, because it takes almost 6 to 12 months to train a worker, and it is always seen that many of them usually migrate to other companies. In the end, the overall productivity of the industry is very much decreased gradually in recent times, and in overall textile industrial growth, it is also badly hindered. Now, a quick SWOT analysis of Paradise Limited. Their strengths are they have a very flexible management and decision takers, because they are willing to take decisions for the benefit of the workers and also their productivity. They have a high revenue and earning system compared to their competitors, but they have some weaknesses which are they have inadequate facilities for their workers, and also in recent times their productivity is very much decreasing. And about their opportunities. They have scope to increase and expand. They can implement accommodations and other facilities which will increase their productivity. And about the threats, there are labor migrations to other companies. Now, about the core issue identification, we have identified the core issue as ensuring satisfaction for workers to mitigate and prevent them from migration. Because we have seen that this is one of the core reasons due to which their productivity and their profitability is decreasing recently. Now, the reasons for this migration and also their lack of satisfaction is that high house rents, obviously, then lack of transportation, which then increase in salary, for which reason they tend to go to other companies, lack of festival events and amenities, and additional benefits.
To find a solution of this core issue, we have two alternative plans. One, the alternative one is providing the accommodation and for the workers, and the alternative two is providing various kinds of benefits to the workers. So what are the advantages of alternative one? The advantage is that this is a long-term asset for them, and this is going to increase, this value of this asset is going to increase gradually in the future. Then we are ensuring safety for the workers because it's adjacent to the factory. And we are we are ensuring that we are giving them a very healthy environment. After that, there are no external factors can hinder this production, and by these external factors, we try to mean that the political turmoil and the natural calamities that occur in Bangladesh. Then the accommodation system is going to be built adjacent to the factory. Because of that, the workers will not face any kind of transportation problems. And this kind of initiative create a great good impression to the foreign buyers, and this is going to create a very good image of this industry to the foreign buyers in the future. But it has some disadvantages too. The biggest disadvantage is large investment. We need a big amount of money to implement this plan into action, and we need a strong monitoring unit to monitor this total construction period over 2 years.
So what more do we have in our hand? Now we have alternative 2. Let's talk about the advantages first. First of all comes salary increment. Due to the salary increment, people will try to work more. Then again, because of CRS activities, people will be motivated. And for better works, workers will be rewarded. And there will be creation of workers' welfare. Now moving on to the disadvantages of alternative 2. Now, if we want to create alternative 2, we have to give transportation to our workers. Now, for that company, we need at least 50 buses. And at a time, to give 50 buses is almost difficult. And then again, when women will be working in night shift, they will not feel safe to go home at night. This is an issue. And third comes the external factor like political problem or environmental problem. Those are the factors. And laborers who are well educated, they might face problem like while they are taking the scheme, they might not know what is happening. So there might be an unrest. And then moving on. So basically, by comparing alternative 1 and alternative 2, what we have done is we have selected alternative 1. That is, we will be providing accommodation and a good living environment for the workers.
Now, let's talk about the implementation. So the first implementation that we have thought is that we are going to create facilities for creating daycare systems and schools for the children of the workers. So what this will do is that the workers can actually concentrate on their work rather than thinking about what is happening to their children. Then what we will do in our dormitory is that we will create common rooms where the workers can actually go and they can play carrom boards, or they can watch the TV together. Basically, they can just have a good time in their free time. Moreover, we are planning to make ponds and other parks and grounds in the entire area where we have thought of making the dormitory, because this will enhance the total experience of the workers living there. So then, there is a plan that we have for the future, and that is we want to create a self-sufficient, green, clean dormitory. That is, we want that our electricity, our gas services and everything will be created inside of our dormitory. Then, coming to the next slide. Okay, so what we have thought is we will arrange various festivals, cultural events on various occasions inside of the dormitories, like on the fields in front of the dormitories, because when this happens, the workers will think that no, the owners, they actually think of us, they think of what we need and what we want, so they will get a motivation to work for their owners and to work for that company. Now moving on to the dividing of the dormitory. So we have thought about dividing up our 1,300 rooms between 1,000 female workers, 400 male workers, and approximately 600 families. So this will be rented, these rooms will be rented for 1,000 taka per month for each room. And in the single workers, the female and male, they can live with other members, other workers of the industry together. And the families, they can have their own separate rooms. So now moving to the construction period. During the construction period, what we can do is that to make the transition from their homes to dormitories easier, what we will do is we will rent homes near the factories so that it is easier for them to get used to the transition. And we will also get transportations and arrange transportations for them so that they can come to their factories in time, and at the same time we will implement and bring about schools and the daycares at this time, and the cultural events will start from then.
Okay, so our whole action plan and implementation will be divided into 3 steps: the pre-construction, during construction, and post-construction periods. Now, in the pre-construction period, there will be many seminars and campaigns, informative campaigns, which will be done to inform the workers about the benefits that they will get due to our dormitories, and thus they will have a hope and satisfaction in the long run. My teammate has already discussed about the during construction period. There will be temporary daycare systems and schools. And in the post-construction period, we will just gradually move the workers into the dormitories gradually. Then we will be planning around different implementations in 4 swings.
So in budget, we just break down the budget so that we can show the feasibility of the plan. And moving on to the feasibility and assessment. So by the support that government gives to us, we hope that we can give them the accommodation system, and then at least there will be 12% increase of production through the facilities we give. Moreover, the rate of migration, that was our core issue, will just gradually decrease by 3.5%. Well, our payback period, we have expected that will be around 12.36 years, and return on investment will be 0.0404, which is quite good for a company.
So basically, what should we do, sir? So should we go for building cities like Foxconn, where the workers are actually being pushed to suicide, or will we create a paradise for these workers so that we can actually create an environment where the workers will be motivated to work for us? So with that, we'd like to end our presentation. We're extremely sorry for the mistakes that we have in our slides, and I hope you would look at them with due consideration, and if you have any questions, please do ask us. We'll try to answer them. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Nice, thank you very much. Congratulations. Good presentation.
Thank you, sir.
My question is, what is the motivation for you to choose Paradise model? Yes.
Sir, so basically what we thought, the people, the garments workers, they're usually the lower income people. So what happens is that due to the what the Alim garments industries did was that they gave them other facilities, but they gave no accommodation, right? So they also provided the, if I'm not mistaken, they provided the Sir, salary increment due to the share of the, if the company did well, the Alim Industries gets a profit sharing scheme. But the thing is, the workers will not understand that properly because they are not that educated. So what will happen if they are getting good salaries for a while because of the company doing good? When the company does bad, they will not get that extra money. And so when that happens, they will not be able to pay for their house rents. They will not be able to pay for the other things that they're accustomed to due to the extra increment. And this will lead them to go for migration. This will lead them to go for the other company that will give them 100 taka more. But in case of the alternative that we have selected, what happens is, sir, no matter what happens, we still give them the house that they're living in. So even if they're getting a little less money, the possibility of them getting a little less money because of the company doing that is not persisting, and so the workers are always getting the equal amount of money, and they're getting a place, shelter to live in, even in bad conditions. That is why we thought this is the better choice.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
One comment is that yes, you have shown a payback period and return on investment, but just the figure was comparison with the other option. Whether this payback period or return on investment is higher or lower than the second option. How do you decide?
Sir, we had a rough calculation before we selected this. We calculated the payback period based on both the rental profit and also since we are getting an increase in the productivity. That's why we saw that the payback period was actually much more than the second alternative. Because in the second alternative, there isn't any fixed assets. We are only investing. There isn't even much more investing also because we are actually giving a part of our profit, right? So, and the investments are like buses, those are depreciations occurs in there. So in the long.
And even if we get a bit of, if we incur a bit of loss on the building, it will still be, the profit that we gain from the entire land will still be a lot more than what we took actually invest. So that is why we thought that we should mention that it does not appreciate.
I just need to add one point. If you consider the transportation cost,
Yes, sir.
that will make the payback period even more interesting maybe. Do you have any idea how much the factory has to spend if they need to give a transportation to the worker per month?
Sir, approximately the cost.
Sir, we have found that the cost of like Ashok Leyland buses and those are around 40.
No, I'm not asking the bus. Let's say per person or per head. What is roughly transportation cost? Like if you need to give a worker transport to pick him up from a certain place and take him to the factory, and when the factory shut down, then drop him to the place near to his home. So what is the cost? Do you have an idea?
Sir, actually what we try to say is that we could not actually find a proper price to do that. So we thought about renting buses by the day or by the month, which is not actually that much of a cost. And moreover, sir, our actual plan that is in the long run, what we will do is, we'll build a dormitory next to the factory so that there is no additional transportation cost for the employees, and so that we do not have to pay them extra for that. That is what we intended to do, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good presentation.
Thank you, sir.
I think probably all the questions has been asked. I just would like to draw one thing. You bravely taken this decision to dormitory.
Yes, sir.
So if there is 2,000 people working, do you think, living, residing in there, do you think there is a possibility of unrest, politics, and other social situations coming into place? And would that be a hindrance?
Sir, this actually we haven't put much thought into it, but sir, to be honest, we do not think that it would be much of a problem, because most of these workers, they are the people who are working hand to mouth. They're working to just feed themselves and their family and just to sustain their families. So these people do not usually get the motivation or the the urge to actually go and work, like fight for something else other than that. And yes, sir, I understand it would be kind of easy to manipulate these people as they are not that well educated and they do not think about everything through. But sir, to be honest, we do not think in a closed environment, in a place that we are controlling, in a place where only the workers get in, we do not think that politics or things like that will become a huge problem. And already they do have their labor union leaders and other influential workers in the government. So I do not think a new unrest would arise. We do not think a new unrest would arise in the dormitory, sir.
I think there is no labor union in any government factory by law with the participation, just only because of that reason.
Yes, sir.
So we completely give a solution purpose. There is no place of that. Because the same people who is working in the factory, probably 60%, 70% of them will reside in the dormitory.
Yes, sir.
So if the government or the garments owner is afraid that having a labor union in the factory will hamper the production, same could happen. Not production, but also the politicization also. And you think it will happen?
Sir, we think, sir, these kind of things will not actually happen because, sir, we are giving them a very favorable environment to stay in. So what happens basically in this country when the political leaders or the political propagandas are given to those people who are in problem, it is shared to them that you are facing this and we can solve this for you. But when we're giving them all that a person needs to survive and even have a good time in a place, we really do not think that something else will come up and just happen, sir.
Sir, can I add something to that? Sir?
Quickly, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, the garments worker work at long shift, right? So after working so hard, when they will go to the accommodation and see all the amenities and facilities.
How long?
Yes, sir.
How long they work?
Sir, 8 hours. Sir.
So 8 hours to 9 till 5. They
But
have,
sir, it's a very skilled and technical job, manual.
just think about that they will have then from 6 or 7 to whatever possible night. They will have plenty of time together
Yes,
in that place. All right, thank you very much. Thank you for it.
Thank you, sir. So,